Hey Budget Fam, it's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. Before we do anything, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my subscribers, whether you be a new subscriber or someone who's been on this journey with me. Thank you so much for joining and being a part of our Budget Fam. We did just hit 10,000 subscribers, which means we hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel in less than 6 months, which just blows me away. I'm shocked, and I feel so blessed and so happy to have you guys as part of my journey here on YouTube. I do have a 10,000 subscriber giveaway that will be announced and launched soon. If you want those freebies, go ahead over to jordanbudget.com. The link is in the description of this video. There you will find a newsletter where you can sign up for the newsletter. Freebies will always be announced and you'll be able to access them through that newsletter. So please sign up there. If you don't want to sign up for the newsletter, that's fine. I'm sure it will be announced on this channel very soon. It's just the people that are signed up for the newsletter will definitely get access to everything first. And I will only be sending out newsletters once per month. I feel like that's important to note because I signed up for some newsletters and they blow up my inbox. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I will send out a newsletter to you guys once a month to whichever email address you sign up with. Okay, so this video is going to be a restarting the binders video, so it's probably going to be a little bit lengthy. We are restuffing all of the money that we just pulled. I've picked my priorities and where I want money to go, and money will be shuffled back into those high priorities, and we will just have to be restuffing some of those lower priorities. But I do have particular priorities that I want to hit this year, and that is what we are going to stuff today. I also want to mention I don't typically use placeholders, but I did get some placeholders off of Hands and Bands Etsy shop. Hands and Bands, if you want to leave a comment down below, then I will pin Hands and Bands comment and you guys can go check out her channel, and you can also go check out her Etsy shop. But I absolutely adore these placeholders that she made. We will be using I wish this were 10,000. We will be using $1,000 placeholder and then 500 $100 bill placeholders. I just got a savings account with a bank that is not attached to any card whatsoever. So if you guys have been around, you know that if it's in the bank, I have a hard time keeping control of it and not spending it. These placeholders will remind me that that savings does have a purpose because all of this money is going into envelopes. Okay, wow, I could rant for forever, but hopefully you guys get the idea. So let's go ahead and count the money. 1,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So I do have $1,600 in the bank. 17, 18, 19, 2,000, 50, 100, 2, 4, 6, 8, 200, 2, 4, 6, 8, 300, 2, 4, 6, 8, 400, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, $76, $2,476. This is all money that was recently pulled from my binders, and we're basically just reshuffling it. Okay, so we do have all of our new trackers because we are starting fresh for 2022. I will be going through all of these trackers that we are going to be using. Of course, everything that you see in this video is in my Etsy shop except for the Hands and Bands placeholders. I don't make any placeholders, but I absolutely loved hers, and I knew that I was going to be wanting to start trying to use a savings account. Wish me luck. So I did go ahead and get some placeholders from her, but everything else that you see, these are the trackers. Those are in my Etsy shop, and then these are also in my Etsy shop. I'm going to try to go through everything because I know we have a lot of new subscribers, but I'm going to do it very quickly. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I would be happy to answer your questions. And of course, feel free to go through some of my older videos. You can see how my cash stuffing journey has progressed over this last 6 months since I've been on YouTube. So I just want to mention quickly, this is not a binder we will be changing. This is my bills binder. So all of my bills do get stuffed throughout the month. They get completely stuffed by the 1st. And then on the 30th or the 1st, I put all of the money in the bank and I pay all of my bills right away. So I consider it being 1 month ahead. All of the money in here is for January. My bills are fully stuffed. I'm going to put this money in the bank, go ahead and pay everything online, and then everything for January is covered. I don't have to worry about January bills at all, even though it's only the end of December right now. That makes sense. And then all through January, I stuffed this bills binder every single week to get us ready for February's bills. So this is fully stuffed. I'm not going to be changing this binder around at all because our bills are very set and very figured out at this point. I am completely changing around the other 3 binders that I use. Before we start pulling everything apart, let me just tell you how this is now divided up. We have a new binder. This is a homeschool and self-care binder. We're gonna be putting this together in just a moment, but this is a homeschool and self-care binder. I went ahead and separated self-care, and we will be adding all of the categories. Instead of having one self-care envelope, we're breaking things up into different categories that I want for self-care. I did move this into its own binder as well as homeschool because these are things that I would like to be touching a lot more, making sure I'm spending this money and getting us stuff that we need or want, because you guys know I'm really terrible at spending money on myself. So this is a binder that will stay with me a little bit more than the other 2 will. So that's what this is going to be, and we're going to stuff that in just a moment. And then the last 2 binders, I've now broken them up into short-term and long-term goals. Short-term being things like a vacation that is coming up, haircuts that come around constantly, birthdays or sports, things that come around more often. Long-term being like I am moving in 6 months. There's also a new phone savings challenge in here, and saving for my son's tuition that's happening in 6 to 8 months. That kind of thing. So the only category you're not seeing in these 4 binders is variable spending. Variable spending being like your gas money, your food money, your eating out money, things like that. That is something that I stuff during a regular week. It's just not something that we are changing up in this video. So I did not include it here. So that was a long intro, if there ever was one. Let's go ahead and pull all of these. So these are all trackers I've been working on the last 6 months. I want to go ahead and address while I'm pulling this. There's no shame in not finishing savings challenges. You guys have seen me on this channel start and end savings challenges like they just don't matter. I want it to be noted that the point of the savings challenges and sinking funds is just to give money a job and make saving more fun and make it happen. So savings challenges for me, they just kind of incentivize me to save because I can see that that money is going towards a purpose. It is perfectly fine to change up your goals and to move the money around every 3 to 4 months if you want to, or just whenever you want to, as long as that money is still being saved. This money is still being saved, so I don't have a problem at all moving the money around to what I think is the new priorities. Because if it weren't for the different categories, I probably wouldn't have saved the money and it just would have been spent. So I call it a success. We have almost $2,500 over here that were saved thanks to these cards. Now I will say my goal for 2022 is to finish some savings challenges. So I'm starting this fresh right here with you guys because I do want to complete some of these in 2022. Will I complete all of them though? I mean, probably not. I probably won't. Realistically, it's just sort of how I do things. It's sort of my system, and that is perfectly okay with me. Okay, so I guess we can just talk about these as we stuff them. These are my long-term goals. So yearly memberships is for things like the zoo or the children's museum. My small business, you guys know if you've been around for a little bit, I am starting a paper planner business this year. I've been working on that behind the scenes. We are moving in the middle of this year. So of course that is the big priority that needs to get some attention. I would really like to get a new car this year. I don't know if that's going, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I really need a new car because I'm going to be traveling back and forth to family some, I am sure. So new car is a long-term priority for me, as well as a new phone. My phone is just fine, but it is an iPhone SE, which is a smaller phone. And the only issue with that is that I work on my phone a lot now, and I just think work would be a lot easier if I have a bigger phone. I do have Cricket Wireless, which is a very affordable phone plan. It works very, very well in my area, and their phones are reasonably priced. Like there's an iPhone for $500. It's maybe the 11 or something. I don't keep up with these things. We are upgrading to the 100 envelope savings challenge. I was doing the 50 envelope savings challenge this last year, but I was hoping to complete it by the end of the year, and I started in the middle of the year. So here we are. We're gonna try the 100 envelope savings challenge. Honestly though, in the middle of all of the other big goals that I have, I don't know, we will see. Okay, the only other things here, Christmas is long term. Typically I save for the entire first half of the year, I save for my son's birthdays, and the second half of the year I save for Christmas. I do realize though that this year I went way off budget for Christmas, so I'm gonna go ahead and start thinking about that at the start of this year. We may not be putting a ton of attention on it, but I would like to put some attention on it. So those are all my long-term goals for 2022. These will not be moving out of this binder unless we like complete it, until we get all of the money for it. Some of the short-term savings, now we might end up moving some of those around just because I may fall off on some of the short term, but all of these long-term things are definitely needed. The only long-term goal that I did not place in here is car tag and AAA. We will be starting over on car tag and AAA, but I don't have a placeholder for those, so I am going to create a label for that. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so for this binder, we are stuffing 3 of the categories. Since these are our long-term goals, we are putting a lot of money into these goals. Moving is getting one of the placeholders for $1,000. So some of you guys were concerned in the comments. I heard you were like, do not take the money out of moving because you need to save for that one. And I very much agree. So I ended up putting more money into savings. Okay, so the way I am doing this placeholder is every box represents $50, and then every part of the truck represents $500. You guys can, of course, do this tracker however you want, but my thought is that I'm going to color in pieces of the truck, not the entire truck, for the 500. So since we're putting 1,000 in, we're going to color 2 pieces of the moving truck over here. My mom got me colored pencils for Christmas. Does that make me sound like a 5-year-old? So she watches my mom watches my videos for YouTube, and she knows that I have been saying like, oh, I'm gonna go get some color pencils because the markers are too harsh on these trackers, in my opinion. My mom listened to my videos with me saying that, so my Christmas present from her, or one of my Christmas presents from her, was colored pencils, which I think is really sweet and thoughtful. So we did color in 2 parts of the truck for moving. We now have $1,000 in moving. The actual money is in a savings account that I cannot access at all, thank God. New car is going to get $500. So we are going to make each car represent $100. Basically, all of the long-term goals are getting placeholders, and then the short-term goals are the ones that are getting the real money, because the long-term goals it's not money I'm going to need right away. It's money that can sit in the savings account, and I won't need to go try to access it for like pictures or, you know, for the pets, for any of the short-term goals that we have. So how are you guys' week? How is everything going? It is Wednesday now. I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, December 29th, which means yesterday on Tuesday night, the 28th, I got the 10,000 subscriber goal, which is just crazy, guys. I thought it was gonna come down to like last minute. You guys have probably heard me say this, but my goal for the year was to get 1,000 subscribers and to get monetized. And like my hope for the entire year of next year was that I would make $500 on YouTube. And that was just like my 4 fun goals when I started the middle of 2021. I could not have expected things to go the way that they have. I feel so thankful. And I know in the last video, a lot of you guys did share your channels. I'm very excited to go back through those comments and make sure I'm subscribed to all of you. I was around for like the first couple of hours checking comments and chatting with you guys, but then I got busy yesterday. I brought my kids to the beach, which was a lot of fun. It's been hot here in Mississippi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we now have $500 saved for new car. This is really just trying to save and get us a down payment for a new car. And then the only other thing we are stuffing in the long-term binder is new phone. It is my priority to get a new phone this year. Okay, so for this one, we are going to do each phone represents $25. And we are gonna put $100 into new phone. Okay, that's gonna get us close at least. So new phone, we are gonna color in 3 phones for the new phone. So if you live in the South, you know that weather here is just like, it's still hot most of December, and then January and February it feels really cold because of the humidity and like the cold has finally hit. So I brought my kids to the beach yesterday because it was still very, very hot yesterday. It's kind of rainy today, or it's wanting to rain, and then after a good rain, it tends to get cold again. Like the rain comes before the cold front. So I think that's exactly what it's gonna do. I haven't paid attention to the weather, but I think that's exactly what it's gonna do this weekend. Like it's probably gonna be freezing this weekend because we have rain in the area or on the way. But anywho, I did bring my kids to the beach yesterday while it was really nice. And if you live in or around Nashville, tell me, like, where's the water spots? Like, what do you guys do? Is there a nice lake or something to hang out at? Because I think the thing I'm gonna miss most leaving my current area, which is South Mississippi, right on the water, is I bring my kids to the beach and I just like turn them loose. And of course I keep a good eye on them because it's next to the water. But I don't know, like it's really nice to have a really open, naturey spot that isn't like hidden in the woods. Sometimes I get kind of overwhelmed feeling like taking them on a hike or to a wooded area that's kind of tucked away. I don't feel very safe sometimes. Not that I'm not safe, I'm just a paranoid wreck as a parent. But the beach is just, it's so nice to just let the kids dig in the sand and just play. I'm gonna miss the beach. If you guys have something, I guess a lake or something near Nashville where we're moving, I guess that might be tucked away. But I guess just water in general. Where's the watering holes? Where's the water spots in or around Nashville? I need to know. So we colored in 4 phones because we are adding $100 to new phone. And that is everything for our long-term savings. So that is it for this binder. You guys will be seeing this binder as well as all of the binders every single week as we stuff them and we work towards those goals for the entirety of 2022. We are gonna move over to short-term goals. I guess we don't have to take out the whole thing. I just need to take out that and this. So first we're gonna be going through getting rid of just some of these labels and some of these trackers. Of course, the labels and the trackers are in my Etsy shop as well. I want to tell you guys that the reusable trackers will be leaving the shop at the start of this new year. The price of the binders and the trackers will lower since I'm no longer going to be laminating them. If you order right now, I'm still laminating them, but if you order starting January 1st, the trackers will not come laminated and reusable. They will come just cardstock, and it's like a one-time use kind of thing unless you use pencils or unless you make copies of them. I don't know. That is just changing because I have so much going on. I also want to be making videos of tracking the progress of making my planners and things. So to cut down on time for me, the trackers will no longer be laminated. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. But that's why I'm taking out these laminated trackers. We're going to replace them with just the 110 cardstock. I do have these printed professionally, and I think these are amazing. I'm also going to be lowering the price of them a little bit to reflect the fact that I'm no longer laminating them for you. I guess you could laminate them for yourself. So it's just been very time consuming to make that one particular product. I do want to keep them in the shop, and the only way I think I'm gonna be able to do that is just to go ahead and stop laminating them, and you guys can laminate them yourself if you really, really want it laminated. I guess if you like really want it laminated, you can message me that you like really want it laminated. You know what I'm saying? But I really just have to find some time somewhere because I have a lot of goals and a lot of things I want to work on, and I have more things that I want to take you guys along on, like the paper planner business. And just to make time for that, I'm going to have to stop laminating them. I feel like I'm way over explaining that because I feel a little guilty about it. I hope that you guys can understand that there is a reason that I'm doing it, and I still really think the product is great. And honestly, there are a lot of you that have reached out to me and asked me not to laminate it. You haven't wanted it laminated because it's easier to write on if it's not laminated. I'm hoping that not only am I saving time for myself, but I think a lot of you guys are going to be really excited that it's no longer laminated. We're going to go ahead and put all of these up front, and there will be some savings challenges for some of the short-term goals in the back. So this short-term binder, again, is going to house all of the more short-term goals or things that are coming up sooner for me. So car maintenance, we are not going to stuff anything into car maintenance right now. We're also not going to stuff haircuts, but those are two things that you just kind of come up randomly. Sick days, I do not save money for sick days as in this goes towards medication or doctors. I usually save about $30 and keep about $30 in here. This is just to make my life easier when my kids are sick and we need fast food, or maybe they need a really easy toy to play with while they're laying around all day. That's what that is. Car insurance is going to get $100 because that needs to get paid at the end of February. So we do now have some savings challenges for some of our short-term goals. Happy birthday. This is just going to be a fun tracker to save for my son's birthday as well as any gifts they might need for friends. So this is kind of like a rolling savings account for that particular need. Winter vacation is getting $300. This is the only other thing getting stuffed in this binder. $50, $100, $50, $200, $50, $300 for winter vacation. That is because this vacation is coming up in just like the next couple of months. We're just gonna color one hat because this tracker, I like to just color every time we put money in it. It's not tracking a certain amount. This is something I really should have saved a little bit more for and a little bit earlier in the year. We'll see how that goes. Sports, this is for saving for any sports that my sons want to be in. They are in gymnastics and I consider that just a monthly bill or expense, so it's in the bills binder. I think I'm going to be putting my oldest son in baseball soon, so that money is gonna be saved for baseball or like those sports that have one-time fees. Picture day, I would like to make this a priority this year. That is for pictures at my kids' school or family pictures. And then pets, in the last month we did add guinea pigs to our family, so this is just saving for some of their needs. So every time I add money in here, I get to color a spot and it's just a fun way to watch that money grow. That is it for the short-term goals, and we did stuff that money along the way. That means the only binder we have left to cover is our homeschooling and self-care. And we do still have a bit of money left that is going to go towards self-care. Homeschool is not getting any money. It stayed stuffed because I did recently create these homeschooling categories. I am a single mom of 2 boys. I work full-time on Etsy and YouTube, and now I am homeschooling my oldest son just because it was kind of a necessity for where we're at right now and what's going on in his life. So I very, very recently went through all of that and created those categories. So I didn't feel right like unstuffing it or anything. We are going to be adding, oh, this tracker was supposed to go in somewhere. Oh, it was supposed to go in long term. So for AAA and car insurance, I just haven't created that sticker, but this is the tracker for it. Okay, so self-care, let's go through and put these. So these were I just printed these a second ago. Let's go ahead and create the envelopes and then we will stuff the money. So what are you guys' New Year plans? Do you have anything fun planned? Please let me know in the comments if you are. Why am I zipping these and then I'm gonna have to unzip them? Okay. So if you guys are up to anything for New Year's, please tell me what it is. I have no idea what to do with my little boys. I think they normally do fireworks on the beach, like just anybody can go do fireworks. And it's kind of a cheap way just to get out of the house and watch the fireworks. But I was hoping to do something a little bit more with them this year. I just don't know what that is. What can you do with a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old? Even if you don't have little kids, just tell me, what are you guys up to? Is there anything fun going on for New Year? When I was younger and like before I had kids, I would go hang out with friends and it was like an all house party situation, but I was like young 20s before I got married and had kids. So I don't know. I don't know what like your regular adults, what y'all doing. Okay, so for self-care, the first 2 categories do also have to do with my kid. And I've talked about this before, is to go to a movie with them maybe once a month or once every other month. And then the same thing for dining in with them, go to a restaurant and eat out with my kids once a month or once every other month. So those are 2 categories that you guys are already aware of. And let me just tell you too, so a lot of money is going into self-care. That is because all of the money that is in self-care was given to me by you guys in tips in Etsy. And so all of my tip money that comes in from Etsy goes into my self-care binder and my Etsy binder. Let's do that one next. So I didn't feel right taking money out of those categories when you guys gave it to me in tips specifically to go into self-care and to Etsy. So we did save all of the money that was given in Etsy. I wrote down those amounts and it's getting restuffed right now. So dine in, Etsy, purchases. Okay, I meant to put thrifting up here. I don't know why, but in my head it feels like this is the right pattern. This is the right way to organize it. So we're just gonna do it. Okay, was that confusing? So basically we have movies, taking my kids to the movies, dining out, going thrifting. I love to go thrifting with my sister, so I would like to put some of my self-care money towards that. And then Etsy has its own money. Purchases would be like anything I want. Right now, I really need some clothes, so that's probably what purchases is going to go towards right now. Next is hair. I am the worst at spending money even on my hair care, so we're gonna count that as self-care. And then after that is beauty. I am trying to get back into makeup, which sounds ridiculous, but being a stay-at-home mom, single mom, working from home mom for years now, I've just kind of let my, I don't do makeup anymore, I don't do anything, so that is kind of a priority for me this year. Okay, so we're gonna go back through and stuff these. I did have $40 set aside for movie night with my boys, so that's going back in there. Hopefully we will see a movie together soon. Next is dine in. I had $10 set aside for dining in with my boys. Again, something I hope we do soon. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe for New Year's, I will take my kids to the movie theater and we will go out to eat and we'll just make a whole night of that. That might be what I do. Before we stuff thrifting, let's go ahead and stuff Etsy because Etsy did have $151 and we want to make sure that money goes back in. That is just to support other Etsy shops because y'all shopping in my Etsy shop has made a huge impact in my life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But I do always pull tip money from you guys and I put a little bit towards Etsy so that we can shop some other Etsy shops. Okay, so we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 50, 51. So we have 151 going towards Etsy. And then let's see what's next. Before we stuff purchases, I do want to stuff some money into hair. 20, 40, 60, 80, $100. I would like to get my hair cut and colored. I don't know if $100 will cover it, but my hair is pretty short right now. It's like just above my shoulders, so I don't think it's going to be too much for a trim. The coloring, I have no idea what it costs to color hair right now. We will find out soon. And then let's go back to thrifting. I am going to put $60. That will give myself and my sister a lot of fun money, basically, to go to the thrift store and see what we can find. And okay, it's between purchases and beauty. That's the only thing that hasn't gotten stuffed. Let's do a little in both. So for purchases, again, will probably just be clothes, which is a lot what thrifting will be, but I do like to get some things from Ross, so I think we'll go ahead and put $60 towards that. I really believe a lot of this money is going to get spent soon. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it and I'm dividing up my money in different categories, I am thinking about all of the things that I would like to purchase and I really need to get for myself, so this money will be constantly sort of disappearing and then I will be adding back to this binder. So the only category we have left is beauty. We're gonna put $20, $30, $35 into beauty. If you made it all the way to the end, God bless you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody that has subscribed. If we get to 11,000 before the end of the new year, I'm just going to die. Guys, like I'm blown away by the love and support from you guys. Again, go ahead and sign up for that newsletter if you haven't already, or just keep an eye out, subscribe, and keep an eye out on this channel for the freebies that are coming since we hit 10,000 subscribers. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.